So, my daily harp warm-up. So why do I warm up? It's really to make sure that I begin my practice on the front foot, to wake up the muscles in my fingers, and to really focus my attention on the physical side of playing. You know, am I seated properly? How is my body feeling? Is the blood flowing? Am I awake? I really need to make sure that I sort of point my body in the right direction and direct my fingers to work in the way that I really want them to. So I'm setting an intention that hopefully will carry through my entire practice. I've developed this warm-up that works for me at the moment. For me, it's concise. It focuses on some fundamentals that I really believe benefit me at the moment. And I think that I want to also, really think about things that I just want to improve. It's always going to be something personal. This is what works for me. In fitness and biology, we talk about range of motion, which is about how far your limbs can travel, or how far you allow them to travel. Broadly speaking, so a more fuller or more considered range is better. When we play the harp, that applies insofar as that it is our fingers travelling for the longest distance that our physicality will allow, i.e. from fully open to a fully closed palm. So when I warm up, I'm really working on allowing each finger to operate independently without help from other parts of the body in the most comfortable way, allowing everything else to feel supple and to facilitate that movement. For example, where my wrist is concerned, I don't consciously move it, but I allow it to remain supple as a reaction to the movements my fingers make. So I don't do that, I just allow it to do its thing. So I start things by activating each finger one at a time and just really exploring intuitively to wake each finger up. So as I play each string, I need to feel that I'm using the finger in question only. So it's really very slow and considered. Just a little stretch, I sort of bend my fingers around in a bit of a gross way. So I'm really trying to find the sound I want. Am I putting the right weight? Am I using my body weight? A stretch. Once I feel ready, I set my metronome at 60 to the crotchet, and then I set my harp to the key of choice, or mode. At the moment I'm into the F Dorian mode, which is F to F with 3 flats or a sharp 6. So starting with my right hand, I play an arpeggio up and down, turning twice in triplet quavers. So am I even? Does it sound alright? Yeah. Next, I play a scale across just over 3 octaves, starting in the same spot as the arpeggio, this time in semi-quavers. So I stick to a consistent 4 fingers just to keep things linear. So I want to make sure it's really nice and even. My fingers are all working the same. Thirdly, I'm going to play a root position dominant 7th across 3 octaves. So I chose the root position dominant 7th just because it's the most natural place. It's a fairly sort of bog standard shape for harpists. So, I could go down a bit of a rabbit hole of different versions of arpeggios, different versions of dominant 7ths. But just for concision, I'm going to just choose the baseline one, I think. So. Alright. Then, I pick this all with the left hand. issues when you're doing things with left and right hand. Some things I find naturally the scale in my right hand feels easier, it becomes more natural. I find the arpeggio, conversely, in the left hand is easy and becomes more natural. Whether that is to do with the fact that maybe I spend more time doing arpeggios in the left hand scales in the right hand, there's probably a lot of that, but I don't know if it's also to do with the way I'm situated, so I sort of have to account for that a little bit. Is my positioning in the hand, on the strings of my hand, working well for me and facilitating things in the best way possible? Should I be a bit more in front of the strings or behind the strings? So what happens now is that I increase the speed of these increments up to 120 to the crotchet. That was, to repeat, that was 60 to the crotchet. So I'm essentially slowly doubling the speed. My increments are, so I increase it by 2 metronome steps. From 60 I move to 66, so skipping 63, and then from 66 I skip 69 and then hit 72, etc. So the next one is going to be 66. Make sure I breathe through it as well. That's really important. I'm getting excited on the speed because I'm filming it. Other hand. Some of those smacked out a little bit too much, so maybe next time I'll try and work on avoiding that. So up 66, 22, etc. I'm always listening out, so really always listening out for evenness, and making sure things feel comfortable and if everything's technically working well. So if you're a beginner or a learner, that feels a little bit much, one thing you can do is just start at a slower tempo, perhaps 50 or 40 to the crotchet, and then increase the speed at smaller increments. You could also even work on just really sticking to that speed and see if you can neaten up the technique. Ways that I could further develop it are, maybe if I was thinking, okay, I want to be a bit more thorough today, I don't really have a time constraint, I could go back to 60 to the crotchet and work on hands together arpeggios, perhaps vary the inversions in each hand. This then becomes more about mental dexterity, which is why it sort of sits outside the remit of what I'm trying to do, because I'm really just thinking about the physicality. I could work with dynamics, so start soft to loud, or start loud and then soft. I can invert everything so that I start my scales at the top and go down, and then go back up again. And then, as I said before, work with either different inversions or perhaps scales turning the third under or the second under.